know a lot of you are probably more excited about this unit than you were about the tennis unit, right? Which is totally fine. Me too. Basketball was my first love, so definitely more excited about this than tennis, which I don't really play very often at all. So today we are going to be learning your dribbling skill, and that's what you're going to be doing a Flipgrid video on, all right? So, a couple things to mention here. Whenever we do our Flipgrid skill videos, what I'm looking for you to explain to me is your body position, definitely. Then I want you to walk me through the steps of each skill, and then I need you to show me the skill all the way through, so full range of motion, full speed, 2 times. Some of you were doing stuff once, but 2 times, okay? Very important, because sometimes the first time maybe you don't quite get it right, or I'm not seeing something there, or I think I'm seeing it and it's not, so doing it 2 times really helps me see that you understand what I'm saying, and you understand what you're saying when you explain how to do the skill that we are working on, okay? So you guys did really good last time with your tennis Flipgrid videos. It was a good start, but I want to see a little bit more from you this time around. So, let's talk about dribbling. Now, when you dribble, if you're someone who doesn't play basketball a lot, or if you've ever been to a basketball game with younger kids playing, it seems because they're so small, right? Like they're using their whole body to dribble. And if they don't have the finesse right yet to be able to really use their wrist and their fingertips, it's kind of like they have their hand really flat, they use their whole shoulder. If you've ever watched young kid basketball, this is what it looks like. They are just doing this, trying to get that ball to get back up to their hand, not realizing that it doesn't take as much strength and as much of that pushing to get it to do that. If some of you don't play basketball, maybe you feel that way too, that's what happens when you dribble. So a couple things to keep in mind. We're not going to talk really about body position for this skill, because you could be dribbling at any point during a basketball game. So I could be running and dribbling, I could be standing and dribbling, so we're just not even going to talk about body position. What I do want you to talk about is, and keep in mind I'm right-handed, so I'm going to be talking about my right hand. When I'm dribbling, okay, the idea is that I don't want the ball to hit the floor and be coming all the way back up to my head, right? I don't want to dribble like this. That's another thing you see a lot of when people don't play basketball often, or we're talking about youth playing basketball. So you don't need to hit the ball towards the ground that hard. So we really got to find a finesse, and in between. The ideal place for that ball to come back up is up to your waist. Up and down. Okay, if I'm standing. If I'm dribbling and I'm moving, I might want it lower than that. But ideally, if I'm just standing here, I want it to get back up to my waist, okay? And I'm dealing with a ball that's a little bit flat. A lot of our basketballs are flat right now at the school. But you want it to get back up to about waist height. Okay? Now, the actual act of dribbling. So let's take the ball away for a second. When I push it down, and when it comes and springs back up to me, I'm not pushing through the palm of my hand, okay? I'm not even pushing that much from my elbow. The motion isn't so much coming from here. It's coming more from your fingertips. Your fingertips are controlling how hard you're pushing the ball towards the ground. They're pushing it down, and then the ball is springing back up, and they're catching it at the top. So you're controlling how high and how hard you hit the basketball by using your fingertips. So the motion of my wrist is like this. It's a lot of wrist motion, okay? So it's not like this. You got to think this is not stiff, all right? You're moving from your wrist joint. You're not locking this out. So it's all very delicate in terms of a movement, and your fingers are doing a lot of work. They are what's controlling the ball, okay? So, talk about that a little bit when you do your skill video. Your elbow still has to move, but it's in accordance with your wrist and your fingertips. So it's kind of just reacting to whatever is happening here. And when you move and you want to go a different direction with the ball, that's happening with your wrist and your fingertips too. You're controlling it by pushing it left or right or forward with your wrist in the direction that you're moving it, okay? So, when I dribble and I'm just standing here, right, I'm pushing from my fingertips. Pushing from my fingertips. I am not, so if you watch it from the side, you see my wrist, a lot of wrist movement. And 2 relax your wrist while you're doing this. So what I want to hear is you explain to me, not so much the body position involved, right? But what's happening with your arm? What's happening with your wrist? What's your elbow doing? Where do you push from? How do you determine what direction you want the ball to go in? What's the ideal height that that ball should come back up to if you're standing here and dribbling? That's the kind of stuff I want you to walk me through. Now, in terms of the demonstration, if you have a basketball, great. You can just show me. If you can't use your basketball in your house, that's totally fine. Or if you don't have a basketball, then we got to start thinking about what other stuff we can use instead. So a couple of options. You could use pretty much anything that's like a small ball at home. So if you have like any stress balls or anything, I'm not sure if this one would bounce. It kind of does. It kind of goes zigzag because it's got spikes on it. But you could use something like this. You can use your tennis ball if you need to use that tennis ball if you picked that up. You can use, well, you couldn't use a paper ball, but you could pretend, if worse came to worse, like you were dribbling, right? And then explain to me how we dribble, what are we using, where is your strength and your power coming from, how do you move the ball around, and just do that and explain it to me and show me with an invisible ball, okay? But you can use a volleyball, a soccer ball. I just need you all to kind of really get creative when it comes to our online learning in these different sports, because I know you're not going to have all the equipment at home, and I know we're going into winter, and so you can't really go outside as much. So just get creative. I'm not going to dock you points if you're really getting creative and trying to figure out a way to show me that you understand these skills that we're talking about. Okay? So that's dribbling. The next time I see you, we are going to move on to passing. See you later.